BT Racing at Flamborough Speedway. This is ONTrack Weekly. What's new, Cam?
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully we've got the microphone working good today. I've fiddled around with the settings, so I think we're louder. Let me know if we're too loud. I'll turn it down a little bit, but hope you guys can hear me tonight. We're starting off strong. A little bit crazy. We didn't get much racing this weekend, so it is stirring to not have any Canadian motorsports for the most part. We had one track that seemed to live it out, live to tell the tale. I'm not sure if Merrittville did end up running, but everywhere else, weather got to us again. It's not been a great year for weather, unfortunately. It's been plaguing a lot of our season, is what it seems to do every bits every year, unfortunately. And one year we'll have perfect weather every weekend. Just seems like right now Mother Nature wants to rain on our parade. I want to thank Mac Ingram from BT Racing in his rookie season in the bone stock division out there, and he has getting a great learning experience being a part of Chris Lawrence's BT Racing team. Came home with an 11th place finish, and I think that's his best finish of the season so far. Merrittville was rained out too, says David Murdoch. So we had one track that was spared across Ontario, which, at least around the mega hub. I'm not sure if Laird got in at all, but for the most part, not a bunch of racing going on around here, and it sucks. It puts a damper, no pun intended. But anyways, back to Mac. He's gotten a great opportunity with BT Racing. Looking for some partnerships to continue doing that. Running out in the bone stock division, known as Pure Stocks, out at Flamborough Motor Speedway. And Flamborough was the track this weekend that was able to hold on. The Casellis made the call to keep things running. And it was good because there was some great racing that happened. Great Lakes Legends were in town, along with the mini stock division and their pure stock division, which we talked about time and time again. Always so impressive is the Flamborough pure stocks. And then, of course, the Canadian vintage modifieds were also out. Rodney Rutherford getting one of the wins there. Listening on Track Tune is always great, but getting back to watch the races on Pedal Power when they come available. So Pedal Power does have race videos up from this past weekend, so make sure you go and check out their stuff. Pedal Power 51 on YouTube. They'll have the races there. And we continue to talk about the Flamborough racing as what it's been this year. I think we can definitely say that the divisions have struggled. There's been issues with counts, and obviously we talk very openly about the super stocks not being there. There wasn't enough cars, unfortunately, but the pure stocks, they're starting to get their counts up, and these last couple of weeks, the mini stocks have also gotten their counts up. Michael Kenny and his team came out with RJ Croteau, and you have Trevor Hemingway coming out now. So they're starting to build the field a little bit more in the mini stocks as well, and that's just going to help bring people back in. Canadian Vintage Modifieds have gone up from into the double digits now on a more regular basis. And, I think that hopefully that they can end the season strong. Hopefully Frostfest, we get a large, strong count for those divisions. It is the hope of racing fans that we will be able to continue this. They had a double event week at Flamborough Speedway, as David Murdoch mentions. The Outlaw Super Late models for the Gold Rush 124 were out there, and then the Pure Stocks did a double dip. Unfortunately, the Outlaws got rained out at Delaware, so they were not able to actually go for two, but by all accounts, and I was very skeptical, as I typically am, about weeknight races, but this one looked very good. There was a lot of people that went out and enjoyed the races, and Chris Burrows even did both. He participated in the Pure Stocks and in the Super Outlaw, or in the Outlaw Super Lates. Tough finish for Sean Chenoweth. Unfortunately, not able to finish the Super Late race, but and a couple others. I think Thane Halliburton wasn't able to finish. Again, mechanical problems for those guys. And I will admit, I've said I'm not the biggest Super Late guy, but if they can get 18, that's a solid show. Kyle Crump was the guy who took the win. Would have loved to see an Ontario guy get that win, get that money, but hopefully that means next year's Gold Rush they'll get to do it again, battle for the top prize, and we'll make it a good battle. Flamborough definitely has a good show when they are able to get the cars out there, and I will say that I'm excited. I'm going to Flamborough hopefully this weekend. Got to line up a ride, but OSS will make their return, Ontario Sportsman. This is the first time since 2022 that the series has gone to Flamborough Speedway. The difference this time around, well, there's a couple drivers that are in our series that were not in the series in 2022. And so this will be their first opportunity. Ollie Ferguson comes to mind. His first ever opportunity to drive in the OSS at Flamborough. I believe he did race at Flamborough before, but maybe it was in a junior late model. I could be wrong. If Rob's still in the chat, he can definitely confirm that. But it'll be his first experience. I know that they are looking for, we have a couple guys actually that are looking for spotters. So if you are at Flamborough Speedway and are able to spot, definitely reach out, see if you can help us. We want to be able to help those racers get get themselves clear on the racetrack. We don't want any wrecks. We don't need any wrecks in OSS. We've had enough, thank you. But we've got it's looking like a pretty good potentially 15 to 17 car field, depending on a couple more entries, but that's a great return. Our series was last there, like I said, in 22. The finales were there, split 40 lappers due to the closure. It was a temporary closure at the time of Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, now Buxton Speedway. And so we had 15 there. It was basically one was a start and park, and then we had 10 in the season opener. So this would be a solid improvement for us. The OSS is definitely working on trying to make the product better. And we was talking about it actually with someone just before coming on here. It's tough to try and turn a series around. I think everybody knows that tracks and series really do need committed people and people that are willing to work day in and day out, really for no pay, to benefit the series or track that they work for. And we're hoping that with a bit more time, the series can continue to try and grow. It's just, again, you need that sport. We've seen it with Sunset. Look what happened with Sunset. I think we could say a couple years ago they were struggling with some of their divisions, and now things are bumping. They're jumping. Their things are going well, and so it's exciting stuff. I think that one of the things I'm most excited about is that I have not gotten to be at Flamborough Speedway yet to see one of their weekly races. The only time I've ever been to Flamborough Speedway was back in 2021 for the NASCAR Canada Series. And NASCAR Canada did 2 races, and they were a 125 lapper. We got the first one in, Andrew Ranger won that, and then it got rained out for the second. And it absolutely killed my spirit because the racing was phenomenal. It was actually really, really good. So I'm trying to see if I can get into the light here, make it a little bit easier. There we go. So unfortunately, we definitely want people, but we want to try and help the series best we can, but also help the tracks. And Flamborough, I think, has needed some help this year in terms of getting people to come to the shows, and based off of the Gold Rush, that's how you do it, with interesting events and doing something different. I think a couple of years they've done this Gold Rush deal, and hopefully they'll be able to do a bit more in the coming years. I was talking with Kevin today, and I'm really impressed with the work that he's done, taking over as the voice of, well, not really taking over. He was kind of doing the voice last year, but the voice of Flamborough Speedway, and it's not an easy thing to do commentary. And unfortunately, he's not even going to be there this weekend. Was hoping to get to meet him, but he's not, unfortunately, going to be at the track. But I'm really excited to go out and people say, "Oh, you go for the Flamburgers." No, man, I'm going for the racing. I'm going to see that pure stock division, which, again, I'll say it time and time again, one of the most stacked pure stock divisions in the province. And if someone's got cars for availability, I'm hoping that if anybody's got rentals out, try and get some OSS guys to go in there and be in pure stock race. At least one of them would be kind of cool. But I don't know if you lost me, Scott. If you have, people reach out and say, am I lagging? I think it has to do with I hate to say it, but I think I'm topping out on the microphone, and I think it's cutting into everything. Yeah, Brandon says I'm lagging. I'm not seeing that on my end, so you guys got to let me. Okay, well, now I don't know. Oh, I'm fine, but okay, he was lagging. Okay. We don't want to make sure, we don't want to have issues, and that's why people turn away is if stuff's not working out very well. But so again, some of those names that you could see, if you're going to go over to Flamborough Speedway this weekend, we've got the card right beside me. It's going to rotate. We've got the cards for the rest of the weekend at the tracks across Ontario, but the OSS with the weekly mini stocks, pure stocks, pro challenge, and the visiting Can-Am midgets are all on the card at Flamborough Speedway this weekend. So you've got a lot of big names. Grand Bend, they're off this week, so they are actually don't have any racing on the card, unfortunately, out at Grand Bend. So we talk about it. The names that you can see out there. Well, pure stocks, you got Wade Thorne, Cam Thompson, Spencer Riddell, Mark Allen, the Pug, one of my favorite cars out there. Leo LaBarbera, one of my favorite names to hear because I've seen so many people butcher it. Who was it that I think it was Gary Calling a couple of times would stumble over saying LaBarbera. There's a couple names that I absolutely love because they're fun to say. LaBarbera is one of them. Mike Sarantakos is another one. I love that name. I think it's so much fun to say. And now that we know how to say it's Spencer Riddell, making sure that we say that right. The Mitchells are all out there. Courtney Scott occasionally comes out there in races. Phil Givens occasionally is out there. So the pure stock division is fantastic. And you can't count out the guys from Triple B or Flat Broke. I think they're kind of a combination effort. Craig Cole, Jordan Fiddler, Jordan Wilms. They are always fast. Gary Slama, he's another one. I absolutely love that name. Gary Slama in that 90 car is always fast as well. So the field is really a who's who of pure stock racing in Ontario. Such competitive racing back and forth. Rachel Mitchell this past weekend put on her best showing, started from the pole, and was holding on to the lead. Had a great race going, and just the rear tires went away. And I think it was she said it was her left or the right rear that shredded on her. And unfortunately, her race didn't end where it could have. But it's cool to see that. I mean, I love that they do the invert in their pure stock division. It's just, I've said it before, and there's nothing against the other pure stock divisions at Delaware or Sunset or Peterborough. It's just, for whatever reason, I find that the racing here, maybe it is because of the invert, but the racing is just so much fun at Flamborough Speedway. I think their mini stock division, it's had better years. This year's been really tough. It's been really tough for competition-wise because Blue Street Contracting has this season locked down with Matt Young and with Bobby Mercer, been incredibly good. And it is... you don't really see a lot of pure domination seasons like that. Mini stocks, I mean, Mike Thompson's been around. Mike Gilmore's also been very good this year. Caitlin Wallace, it's been tough to see. She's had a lot of mechanical problems. And the field has kind of been very back and forth. It's been 1 week 10 cars, then the next 6, and then the next week there's like 15 of them. So it's been kind of all over the place. But it is very very fun to watch. This week, of course, we got Pro Challenge, so Tim Norris and the Norris family, they'll be out there. That one, I mean, I'm not as familiar with the Pro Challenge division. Those little cars are fast and they're fun to watch. And then, of course, the Can-Am Midgets. So names that you're going to see out there, more than likely. Again, I can't confirm 100% the drivers can be out there because you've got divisions kind of all over the place. Typically, what you're going to see out there, you see... Daniel Hahn, definitely Jeff Blackburn, Jaden Riddell is part of that division. Dominique Smith, part of that division. I'm forgetting that. I want to say it's Darren McLennan, who's been the dominant car this year, the 78, and Corey Whittam. Corey's normally very competitive. He's not doing a full season this year, so. He might not be a part of that race, but so the Can-Am Midgets always have something going on as well. So that card is looking very well this week. You see here Peterborough Speedway, Bone Stocks, Renegade Trucks, Outlaw Midgets, the bike races for kids, Super Stocks, and late models. Outlaw Midgets, of course, traveling. Jason Metcalf picked up another win at Full Throttle when they were visiting a couple weeks ago. He's the points leader right now, potentially going to win his first ever championship with the Outlaw Midgets. Renegade Trucks out there as well. Fantastic stuff. Full Throttle Motor Speedway, Junior Late Models, Mini Trucks, Thunder Trucks, Fun Stocks, and the Crazy Trains are out there as well. Can't go wrong with those divisions. And Feeney, that's confirmed now. It is Double Toonie this week. So it is okay. So Double Toonie is happening this weekend because it was rained out last week. Fan appreciation. So get your butt to Peterborough Speedway. This is the opportunity to do it. Great racing out there. Sunset Speedway has an Oscar doubleheader. That'll be Oscar Hot Rods and Mods. Ontario Legend cars will be out there, Bone Stocks, and they'll have King of the Hill stacked once again. Hot Rods and Mods. But this is not just your old Oscar Hot Rods. This is Oscar versus Sunset Hot Rods. Love this. They've got a huge field of cars. Delaware Speedway this Friday, autograph night, V8 stocks, Super Stocks Late Models King of the Hill, but also it's Trevor Culver Pack the Track Night. So you get out there, being big fans of Trevor Culver. He's actually the guest coming up on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast this week. Don't even know how we planned that, but it worked out in our favor. So Delaware Speedway, definitely lots of fan appreciations this week. Trying to put these together. Last one of the year for Peterborough Speedway, as Ashley says. And then we're back to Flamborough. I got Sauble on here as well. So we'll get Sauble when it pops up again. But I hate to say that we're rounding down, guys. Like, this is getting to the end of the season already. This weekend's the 24th of August already. Now, McPherson Motorsports commented that it should be a great show with just the hot rods. The rest are a bonus. At Sunset, of course, with the hot rods, I think the last couple of weeks, on just Sunset hot rods alone, there was about 20 cars. Things got a little bit crazy, and my understanding is that some cars that were in that division now have been sold and are with some new owners potentially for next year. And it's going to be interesting for sure on these last couple of closing weeks. And I love the idea of, again, promoting Oscar versus Sunset. There we go. It's APC out at Sauble Speedway, Bone Stocks, and the Junior Late Models. That's a big opportunity for Sauble Speedway once again with APC on Racing America, their Junior Late Model program. They've got about the six, seven regular drivers out there. I think maybe 8 might be the max. APC Late Models, you'll typically see some guys like Andrew Gressel, Tom Gibbons. That'll be a part of the APC event. And then the Bone Stocks, CGC Racing, Pat Farrow, Savannah Finley, John Van Dyke. Those are your kind of regulars. Kyle Neumeister. Those are your regular drivers out there as well. So 2 more weeks, as Brandon Finney says, at Peterborough, then the Autumn Colors Classic. Sunset Speedway is also going to be ramping down. I believe they finish September 14th is their last, I believe it's championship night, September 14th at Sunset Speedway. And then Velocity is the following weekend, which again, as we said, leads into October, which leads into your Autumn Colors. Hopefully we'll get to be there. Hopefully we'll get to announce some of the races. That's the hope, at least. I got to get out there and try. And the invitation was given to come back and be a part of the booth. And there's one kid out there that I definitely want to commentate with, because he is the future of announcing in Ontario. His name's Ben McPherson. Too many Bens. Ben Hodgson. Ben McPherson's the driver of the future, and he's going to be moving, I believe, to hot rods next year. But Ben Hodgson and Charlie Toner out there. Brendan Doherty's normally out there as well. I think a couple years ago we even had Tim Terry there. Adam Ross. If G-Force is back, I don't know 100% yet if that's happening. I should probably ask them that and see if they're going to be back for Autumn Colors this year. I love that entire weekend, and as long as we don't have the weather that we had last year, because that sucked. I don't like cold, and I don't like rain, and I don't like the two of them together. So hopefully we'll be able to have a great time there. Velocity, this will be the first time. Hopefully we'll make it to Velocity. And then championship night at Sunset Speedway. Velocity is also the end for the Ontario Sportsman Series season this year, so they're ending their year at Sunset. Of course, you also have their Great Canadian 300 to look forward to. Big news there. NASCAR Canada moved their Delaware event to the same weekend now as the Great Canadian 300. So we're right back to where we were last year with a big show, big weekend at Delaware Speedway with Oscar, with the APC Series, and now with NASCAR Canada. Really the way it should have been. I think we got to, get that back on a regular basis. Do what they can do. Now, obviously, it was supposed to be last weekend. Things got rained out. It is what it is. It's still not the finale, but I'll take it being on that weekend. I know it's going to make it a little tougher for them, because I believe it's going to be straight weeks, perhaps, of events. Perhaps I have to check back on what the exact days are, but it's for sure definitely going to make things more interesting, because now that you have potentially a double header with a 300 lapper with the APC series, and then you have the NASCAR Canada series the next day, all of a sudden now you potentially have some names that might try and do some doubles. Guys like Ray Morneau, he'd be somebody I'd want to see back. He is going for a Delaware championship this year. One of the things that we talked about potentially doing tonight is looking over the point standings at some of the tracks, and I think we should do that. It's been a great start to the show. I've had lots to talk about, even though we didn't have a ton of racing. But people have been interactive. The chat's been very interactive, which is great. I apologize to those on YouTube, though. I have not actually seen you. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's take a look. Why don't we go to Flamborough Speedway first? And bear in mind, I haven't checked the layout for the double screen yet, so it might be a little off. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for. Bear in mind, folks, practice makes perfect. There we go. All right, now, it's not up to date as of Saturday. This is going into Saturday. But we got the, as of August 13th, they haven't updated the post, their points just yet. But this is what we had prior to the checkered flags flying on Saturday. Billy Schwarzenberg leads the Grisdale Enterprises Pro Late Model Division. That's over Chris House and J.R. Fitzpatrick by 9 points. Both of those guys got to victory lane this weekend, keeping up a very, very tight battle at the top for the points championship at Flamborough. Kevin Albers sits in that third spot. Logan White in fourth. Roland Goodfellow and Sean Taylor. Rick Burbridge, Scott Gibson, and Caden Wright, of course, not all running full time. In the Clouds Auto Repair mini stocks, Matt Young is your current points leader, and of course he's continuing to look very solid. Mike Gilmore went to victory lane as well in one of the events, but Bobby Mercer has moved himself up in the point standings lately. Mike Thompson, Caitlin Wallace sitting back in fifth. Nikki King, Mark Grieve, Matt Smith, and Mark Klotz. Again, they haven't had a ton of full-time registered cars. And that's one of the things that I noticed about Flamborough is they don't include drivers that aren't, I think, full-time and registered. They don't include them, or at least registered for points. They don't include them, whereas other tracks, I believe, do. Hogan Law and McClurkland Properties of Cambridge, Pure Stock Division, the division that I absolutely love watching. Spencer Riddell leads the point standings over Wade Thorne and Jillian Hills. Of course, Spencer Riddell also went back to victory lane this past weekend, so he definitely helped pad his points lead. Wade Thorne got up there, was close, just not able to get close enough. Leo LaBarbera and Chase Mitchell. Cam Thompson, who's had a second half of the season surge. Rick Mitchell. Mark Allen, Craig Cole, Jordan Williams, and Jordan Fiddler. In that 22, Chris Burrows, Rachel Mitchell, Mike Hall, Megan Mitchell, Alan Matisse, and Jake Hambley are your Pure Stock Championship contenders. Now, obviously, it might be a little deceiving looking at those standings because they do have they don't have drivers on here that have participated in pure stock races for the rest of the season. Like, I don't see Mac Ingram on there. I don't see Courtney Scott on there. Maybe they just don't add them. Maybe they weren't registered for points. It might just be that that's the however many lines they have in the document, and maybe they're lower in points. I'm not sure. However, let's look at the point standings. Now, I would love to bring you Sawbulls. Unfortunately, Sawbulls' site is down, and they don't typically carry. Oh, you have to pay for a membership to be in the points. Ah, okay. Moved to YouTube on my TV, so no more comments from my peanut gallery. There is a live chat feature on YouTube as well. Ashley, you just would have to have your account or sign in. Why don't we take a look at Peterborough? Let's go in and take a look at the Peterborough Speedway classes. Let's start with late models, and let's just take a quick look over there. Your late models out at Peterborough Speedway. Now, I'm going to go and do this again because I want to make sure that I get the sponsor of the division. So, KOD Disposal late models. This is your point standings right now. Ryan Kimball leads over Jacob Mercer, young Jacob Mercer, of course. Steve Powell sits third in the points. Then is James Horner, Dan McCaddy in fifth. Gary Hanna sits sixth. Tyler Junkin, Bobby Cusino, and Kelly Balson, Michael Vandersvog, and Jason White, Sean Walker, and Bill Jessup are your 13 that have raced this season in the KOD Disposal late model division. 27 points difference between Kimball and Mercer. Kimball going for a championship once again. See if Jacob Mercer can bring that within a couple more points. But that's the KOD Disposal late model division. And we're doing it this way because I want to make sure that we get the logos of the companies that partner with the tracks. The Jiffy Lube on Reed Super Stocks, as Adam Ross would always pronounce. Kyle Gordon leads barely over Marley Owen, who sits 8 points behind. Again, this might be prior, but they didn't race last weekend, so I believe this should be up to date. Mark Gordon sits third in the point standings, 11 back. Paul Boundy is 19, sitting in fourth. Donovan Price in fifth. Sean Walker, Brad Laval, Clayton Reed, Nick Oram, and Dylan Wells are your 10 racers that have been a part of the Superstock division. We want to thank Jiffy Lube on Reed for partnering with the Superstock division in 2024. In the Renegade trucks, these are wicked to watch. This is the TLC Plumbing Renegade Truck Division. Howie Crow currently leads 2 points over Mark Gordon. Sean Murray in the 55 sits third. Jack Dallin. You can actually find Jack Dallin. They do have a YouTube channel with their onboard footage. Scott Jacobs sits in fifth. Chad Strawn, Kurt Batty, Stacy Switzer, Corey Horn, and Stephen Beerworth are your 10 Renegade truck racers that have participated this season. 2 points, though, between Howie Crow and Mark Gordon, who's going to take the checkered flag at the end of the season as champion. How about we continue on this battle right now to the junior late models, the Kingsway Auto Center junior late models. Now, this is the junior late model division where they can move up from this division. If you believe, Feeney's been on the chat. He knows the statistics better than I when it comes to the lap time that you have to beat. Ashley probably as well, about having to beat the certain lap time to be able to make it in to the pro division. Wyatt Beatty currently is the points leader here over Carter Capacetti. Knox Richardson sits third. Braxton Sellers and Robbie Miltmore is in fifth. Graceland McInnes sits sixth. Jacob Vanderbilt, Lakeland Junkin, Savannah Strawn, Brody Coates, Austin Finnegan, Avery Kirkpatrick, and Hudson Sellers. Now, of those names, I believe Hudson Sellers, Avery Kirkpatrick, Brody Coates, Savannah Strawn, and Graceland McInnes have all moved up to the pro division. Everybody else, I believe, is still sticking around in this division for right now in the Kingsway Auto Center junior late models. See what... see if somebody got back to me about the... nobody yet. Okay, perfect. That works out. As we continue on with our pro junior late models. Now, this division's nuts. These guys don't mess around. This one's really fun to watch. They go a lot faster than the other division. And these are the kids that they floor it, really. Uh, Lucas Finnegan is your leader in points. I don't know if anybody's going to catch him right now. 44 points over Braden Capacity. Landon Sellers, the kid that's been so close and hasn't gotten a win yet. Chase Cousineau definitely was up there at the beginning of the season. Had a bad finish last race out. Or not last race out, but at least when I was there, unfortunately got into the wall. They fixed the car. He was able to get back to victory lane. Lucas Cousineau sits in 5th. Lila Sigma, Hudson Sellers, Caden Beatty, Carson Cousineau, Avery Kirkpatrick, Graceland McInnes, Savannah Strong, Cole Cousineau, Brody Coates, and Chase Stevenson. But we know that some of those names are not running full time. But Lucas Finnegan definitely would be the name that I think you're going to see move up into. Again, if this Bandolero division is going to be a full-time thing, I would definitely think you're going to see Lucas Finnegan be the guy that's going to move into that division full-time. He's definitely ready and definitely is out there and competing quite well, defeating most of the contenders for the championship. Capacetti in 2nd. Landon Sellers, I tell you, that kid he's been so close to picking up a win, and every time it seems like he just gets 2nd place. But he'll get there eventually. Let's take a look at the Switch Tire at Jiffy Lube mini stock, showing off Aaron Kearns and Tyler McMurder in the header right there. Chris Tubbs leads the way, 16 points over Rob Crick. John Lavelle sits 3rd. Mark Downer in the 26 is in 4th. Neil Bennett is in 5th place. McMurder there in 6th in points, just ahead of Carol Dawson in her, supposedly, I mean, I can only say supposedly, but this is supposed to be, I believe, her final season driving behind the wheel. She's tied right now with Dave Bragg in the 31, Todd Labadie in the number 4, Kyle McCauley in the 76, who I believe I went to high school with. I believe it's the same Kyle McCauley, number 76. Charlie Smith in the 95C, Aaron Kearns, Dave Butcher, Ember Junkin, Ryan Babin. We've got, did I miss, no, I don't think I'd missed Dave Butcher. Ryan Babin, Christian Laval, Dan Demers, Carl Salt, Coleridge, Finnemore. We got so many mini stock racers here. Dave Watchorn, Tiffany Vanderbilt, Scott McGregor, Tegan Stanley, Mark Griffin, and Tyler Junkin. So Tubman leads currently in those point standings right now. Only 16, though, ahead of Rob Crick. John Lavelle sitting in 3rd, 69 behind. And let's take a look as we wrap it up here at Peterborough Speedway with the Battlefield Cat Rental Store bone stocks. Sean Kennedy leads Angelo Novus by 14 over Corey Horn. Then in 3rd, 42 back. Definitely going to say it's going to be between those two, Sean Kennedy and Angelo Novus, for the title this year. John Bates in 4th, Tegan Stanley, and that number 23 is in 5th. Victoria McLennan, very impressive season so far in the 89 Comic Alley Toys car. Love that car. Johnny McIntyre in 7th, Alex Delaire in 8th. Christian Laval in 9th, Alex Malouche in 10th. Kyle Johnson, Chad Massioli, Matt McMartin, Callie Dermer, and Samuel Arnott. Last time I saw Samuel Arnott on track, he was upside down, so obviously you didn't want that to happen. Paige Stevenson, Chase Downer, somebody else who went upside down at Peterborough this year. Dallas Keller, Dwight Lavoie, I believe it's Chris Hebert in the number 96. Mark Griffin, Scott Craig, Dave Watchorn, Dan Demers, and Jacob Kelly are your fields at Peterborough. So we gone through the points divisions out at Peterborough Speedway. And I mean, love to see the competition level. Love to see a lot more cars. And so it's good to see that out at Peterborough Speedway. So thank you to all the partnerships, all the partners that put those seasons together and be a part of things. It really does mean a lot to see that. We head over to Delaware Speedway right now, and let's head over and talk about the Experience Camping Pro Late Model Division. Ray Morneau leads the field over Marshall Schrank, Gary Adrianson, Tight battle up front, and they are the three that are going to battle for this championship. 7 starts. Matt Robley sits 4th, and Jaden Chapman is 5th. Ron Beauchamp Jr., Pat Friel, Brady Smith, Lloyd Rawlings, and Paul Major, your top 10. Jonathan Arts in 11th. Jesse Kennedy, 12th. Jake Hooker, Brandon Vanderwall, Shea Gemmel, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Simon Motorsports, Mark Jacobs, and Kyle Steckley. 19 Pro Late models have taken time and been a part of the division this year. Let's take a look at the Super Stocks, the Inventory Express Super Stocks. Your points leader right now by 20 points. Trevor Culver over Carson Nagy, last year's champion. Lane Zardo sits 3rd, 22 back. David McCullough in 4th. Andrew Ferreira in 5th with Pete Vanderwist Jr., Darrell Lake, Ryan Dyson, Brody Rickawood, and Ethan Orr, your top 10. Lonnie Thompson, Jake Hawks, Cody Wilds, Justin Collison, Randy Caillou Kendall, Hudson Nagy, Jack Van Herk, Connor Van Steensel, Jay Dewar, Bill Daniels, and no races for Dan Monahan in 21st place. So Trevor Culver's got the Inventory Express Superstock Championship, a solid lead there, 20 points. Let's take a look and go out to the V8 stocks, thanks to Doc Stater Property Maintenance. Doug Stewart leads by only 7 points over the Watson Racing 45. Jeff Ferguson sits in 3rd, only 9 points back. Then it's Jordan Morris, 10 points back. Adam Evison, with his win a couple weeks ago, moves up into 5th. Caden Patrick in 6th. Lucas Orr, Kara Martin, Dave Evison, and Chad Clutterbuck. Shane Dixon in 11th. Then it's Cody Coburn, Kevin Wheaton, David Rockwood, Steve McCaw, Bill Daniels, Brendan Edgar, Austin Penny, Sean McGlynn, Jamie Shields in the 6-11, Steve Arond in the 17, Kyle Mesenberg's 8-10, Steve Aron's 64, Chad McGlynn, Gary Pettit and Dean Jessup, Kevin Gallant, and Dalen Martin. Again, a solid count, 27 V8 stocks that have been a part of the championship this season. And we're not going to do the entire bone stock field because there's a lot of them. So we'll go through probably the top 25. Matt Langford, currently 13 points over Jeremiah Rabideau. Donovan Clark sits 3rd. It will be a battle between these top 2 for the championship. Justin Culver in 4th. Paul Fothergill in 5th. Colin Wilms, Mitchell Rawlings, Dakota Luoma, and Daniel Mayu. Michael Verburn rounds out your top 10 over Race Meyer in the number 11. Sterling Roberts, Jason Craig, Adam Generou, and Stan Cook. Generou picking up his first feature win a couple weeks ago. Jack Dixon, Gary Triska, Nathan Rea, Taylor Everest, Charlie Verhoeven. You got 21st, Rob Wollaston, Will Clausen, Trent Vanderwist, Tori Robinson, Jesse Howard in 25th. 26th, Joe Kicks, Ian Levesque, Randy Martin, Will Quarry, Cassie Howard, Hannah Lamont, Mike Howard, Starrett Racing, Derek Musker, Jesse Herzl, Dan Story, Tom Hughes, Jason Lovey, Hank Clausen, and Liam Bichelle are 40 of the 58 registered bone stocks that they have out this season at Delaware Speedway. Amazing counts this year. Crazy fields, which is excellent. Excellent stuff to see. It's definitely a lot of fun to have a division that really is on point this year, and definitely has I've got some sort of small delay here on my end, so unfortunately I'm not sure if we're going to have anything get fixed there. It looks like things are a little wonky, unfortunately, with the little bit of delay that I do have going on my end now. This technology has not been my friend lately on the show, but we're working to fix that. We've got some new equipment coming in, and hopefully that'll make a difference. But let's head over now to Sunset Speedway because they have their points on their website. And hopefully they're updated. They are updated as of August 4th because last weekend we did not have any racing. So let's take a quick look at Sunset Speedway's point standings right now. This is an interesting one. You've got Jordan House leading the GD Coates Pro Late Model Division over Gord Shepard, Travis Halliburton, Samantha Shaw in fourth in points, Kendra Adams, Paul Maltese, Keith Temple, Dustin Marquette, Parker Traves, Corey McAllister in the top 10 in points. I don't think we've got much more than that in terms of full-time racers. Unfortunately, even the 10 there aren't even full-time, unfortunately. Corey, of course, has been injured, so he hasn't been able to get to every event. How about our seat and structures modifieds? Now, these ones, I don't believe there's been much racing that's happened. As you see, June 8th was the last time they raced. TJ Edwards on the top of the point standings, Rick Spencer Walt, Brad Pearsall, Tyler Liscombe, Darren Malcolm, Wally Wilson, Monty Farrell, Andrew Massey, and Ryan D'Antimo. Be very interested to see if this division is going to continue or not. So let's go to the St. Ange Superstock division. Miles Tyson is now your points leader, only 3 points ahead of Paul Pepper for the lead in the division. Pepper sits second. Johnny Morrison is third, not out of contention either. Jacob Booth is a little farther back. Cole Burrows sits fifth. Matt McGrath is sixth. Roy Wilkie sits seventh in points. Colton Everingham, Connor Maltese, Bailey Jacobs in the back there. Doesn't look like a full-time effort there for Bailey Jacobs either. Tyler Liscombe in 11th. Lane Zardo 12th. Dan Hahn, Sean Chenoweth, and Gord Shepard. Unfortunately, we said these names not all full-time competitors. So let's head over then to the Luda Hot Rods. Now these have become the top division, I think, this year in terms of the counts starting to be crazy out here. Tom Walters is your points leader by a measly 1 point over Amanda Balson, who sits second. Herb Walters in third. It looks like the championship will be between Walters and Balson as they head into the end of the season. Rob Bromley sits fourth over Dan Archibald in fifth. Kodiak, Tyler Hahn sits in sixth in points, and then it's Thomas Dunn, Jamie Cairns in eighth. Drew Robertson in ninth, and Dan Rothwell's car being piloted by Paul Bogensberger Jr. sits 10th. Paul Sr. 11th, Matt Spry, Tyler Ecker, Brian Ferroni, Jay Cutting, Jaden Blackwell, Luke Janak, Mike Whiteseas being piloted by Nick Tooley. Cole Ecker and Dalen Martin are your top 20. Other names have come and gone, but we'll leave with those 20 for right now. Struck Energy System Mini Stocks. Their division's also seen a bit of a change. Let's take a quick look. It doesn't look like those points are up yet. Jacob Sutcliffe with a solid lead over Cameron McGlashan. Coleridge Finnemore sits in third in points. Bob Finnemore is in fourth. Peter Wakeling in fifth. Madison Tynecamp sixth. Blaze Shaw. Chris Inglis, Andrea Lusk, Ryder White, Chandler Boss, Eric Rainey, Jason D'Antimo, Michael Robinson, the third. John Bird, your top 15. Doug Butler just outside in 16th. The rest, again, not full seasons. In the Bone Stock division, Chris Allard has a solid points lead over Calvin Reeser. Jordan Owens sits in third. Sits third. Aiden Harper sits fourth. Curtis Burnett in fifth. Josh Berry, Jack Bird, Ben McPherson, Chris Kahn. Austin Jeanette sits in 10th place. Jason King, Jacob Booth, Steve Oakes, Brandon Burnett, Carly Willman, Nathan Booth, Michael Robinson Sr., Phil Givens, Matt Christina, and Jake Bird are your racers there. And in the CPS Junior Late Models, we'll see you got a solid points lead right now for Josh Davenport, Keegan Moat, Ronnie Mason, Rylan Camrath, 1 point ahead and 4 points ahead of him is Ronnie Mason. 5 points separates third and fifth with Captain Morgan Moore, Ethan Mallon, Maya Ford, Jackson Baker, Landon and Curtis Struck, and early winner in this division, Cole Camrath, sits at the top. Or at the bottom, I guess you'd say. They're 11th in points. Unfortunately, like I said, no standings for Sauble Speedway on their website, so we can't really go out and do that. So we can only go with what we've got here. Grand Bend Speedway and Full Throttle. Full Throttle doesn't have it updated on their website, so I can only go by what I see here, and which is on their Facebook page. Mason Culver currently leading the Thunder Truck points over Jason Vale, and that's a solid points lead. We'll see how that looks in the coming weeks. Mini Truck points. Owen Corriveau leads solidly over Del Freiberger and Carson Sim. In the junior lates, to me, it's pretty close to decided. Grayson Mason with a solid points lead over Emma Vale, Hunter Feist, and then the Busnicks. But that's what I've got right now because their other divisions have been off. So I don't know what's updated and what isn't. So because I don't know, I have to go back and check when races were last competed and see whether they're updated. Grand Bend NASCAR late models, Rylan Facinato, is leading 31 points over Olivia Curtis, Jonathan Schwemmler, and Jeremy Curtis, Jacob Ross, Brian Glauscher, and Dwayne Horton. In the mini trucks, it's Caleb Gortz over Dylan Graham, Nick Thuss, Quinn Gortz, Mason Culver, Rick Gortz, Carson and Hayden Sim, Eden Robson, and Keisha Zimick. In the Bone Stocks, well, Carter Nichols got a 294 points lead over Hannah Hamilton. David Rockwood, Kevin Stice. Nick Ramsey, nice to see him back behind the wheel. Then you got Chris Lawrence, Brody Rickwood, Chad Prue, Liam Bichelle, and Tyler Beats. In the 9 horsepower sprint cars, it's Mike Beneteau, Ray Janice Jr., Andrew Rose Cole, David Nethercott, Gareth McLean, Keegan Lamont. Best wishes go out to Keegan Lamont, injured last week at Grand Bend, or not last week, but the week before. Unfortunately, has probably a season-ending injury. Hannah Hamilton, Jeremy Curtis, and Nate Lloyd. Junior sprints, Edwin Hyde has now taken the points lead over Colin Klumper. Blake Watson, Maxwell Lloyd, Alexis Eaton, Bryson Fuller, Ryan Clark, Tyson Fusil, Cillian Collins, and Emma Graham. And the junior sprints for Wednesday, Aiden McConnell, Cillian Collins, Edwin Hyde, Bryson Fuller, Ashton Jacques, Landon Moore, Alexis Eaton, Emma Graham, and Chase Morris. And then your Wednesday night bone stocks, Ryan McNichol, Lucas Chapman, Alvin McNichol Jr., Hannah Hamilton, Jesse Herzl. In the 9 horsepower Wednesday night sprint cars, Bryson Rose Cole, Gareth McLean, Andrea Rose Cole, Mike Beneteau, Jeremy Curtis, David Nethercott, Kieran Rose, Fox Baldwin, Andrew Rose Cole, and Hannah Hamilton. And Wednesday night late model, Dwayne Horton over Olivia Curtis, Ryan Facinato, Jeremy Curtis, Jonathan Schwemmler, David Horton, and Brian Glauscher. So it is, we've gone through the point standings for which ones we could go over. But unfortunately, like we said, there's one of those things that I definitely want to see tracks do. Put the point standings up on your website. Put them all over social media. Get those names. It's very important to get people aware of what's going on with your points championship. Get people aware of where people are situated. I did get confirmation as well. Mac Ingram, our featured driver, not registered for points this year. So he's having a good rookie season, getting out there, not concentrating so much on where the points will fly for him, especially in a division out at Flamborough Speedway, which is completely stacked with talent, stacked with points contenders. But we are getting down to the end of the season. We are getting down to the time where things will change. We will have more than likely names of racers that are going to hang up the helmet at the end of this year. We know Carol Dawson is one of those names, and we found out another. Danny Benedict from the APC series announced that he will be stepping back from driving, and definitely a big shock, I think, to a lot of people. Danny's still quite young, but he's ready to do something else, whether that's crew chiefing, whether it's owning. He's got something. Danny Benedict has been an amazing competitor across Ontario racing, one of the friendliest guys you'd see, you still can see at the racetrack. Somebody who I think a lot of racers should aim to be like. Danny has been one of the most down-to-earth racers that we've been able to chat with and talk with over the last couple of years. And, he's definitely a good role model for young racers to try and emulate on and off the racetrack for sure. Very good representing Mobile One and North Country Property Maintenance the last couple of seasons, B&W Enterprises for sure. It does well. It's going to leave a bit of an opening as well in the APC series and Pro Late Model Racing. So we'll see. I mean, the landscape looks like it's going to change quite a bit again in 2025. We know with expenses and the way things have been, it's a very tough thing to be a racer, to be a track owner. But the most that we can do or the least that we can do is really to get out there and go and support them. It's like the plan. I'm going to get up there, go to Flamborough Speedway this weekend, find a way to make it there and enjoy, because that's the biggest thing for me. I love getting to go to the racetrack. It is by far one of my favorite things to do, and to get to interview drivers, talk with people, and especially get the opportunity to chat with people I don't get to see that often. The rest of the season schedule for myself likely is looking more again, finishing out the season at Sunset and Autumn Colors, and then we'll kind of see. I mean, I'm not sure what Frost Fest is going to look like. I'd like to make it out there as well for that, but it remains to be seen. But the best thing about this is that you've got amazing people that put on the racing stuff all season long. You've got folks here at G-Force TV that put racing on. Strong Coast 77 puts racing on. You definitely have Pedal Power. Make sure you guys go out there, subscribe to their channels, show them a lot of love, because they're the ones that put such great racing out there. Motorsport Alley, when he gets the opportunity to do that, showcase what they've got going on there. You know what, everybody, have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. It's going to be a lot of fun, and let's end the season strong. We've got a long off season ahead of us. We'll be here. We'll be here with ONTrack Weekly, Stickers and Scuffs. We want to make sure that racing continues well past 2025. If you can, give us a thumbs up, share the show, subscribe to the channel. That really helps G-Force TV. Thank you, Spencer, once again, for all of your help. Thank you, Adam and Clinton, for all your support. And thank you, those who tuned in tonight, those who are involved in the Ontario motorsport scene. It's with your efforts that we can continue to grow this and make it as big as possible. Have yourselves a great week, everybody. Let's have fun this racing weekend. We can tell Mother Nature to screw off this weekend, because we need to go racing once again. Have a good night, everybody. Cam K for ONTrack Weekly.